Hello, my name's Simon and welcome to Lot 76 Cars on my tour of the 2022 Stoke Row Steam Rally, classic cars and other exhibits. Hope you enjoy the show. So first car we see today is a Ford Popular. This lovely black example is in really good condition. We'll try and take a look inside if that's possible. So apologies about the reflections. And it's as good inside as it is outside. What a lovely car. A stunning paint job, I think, isn't it? Another Ford, and this time a Mark I Escort estate. When did you last see a Mark I Escort in an estate? I would think rarely. This one's an M, so I guess 73 or 74. Next to the Lotus versions, the Mark II Cortina 1600E was probably the one to have. This is an absolutely beautiful car. Love those spot lamps at the front. And next up is this absolutely beautiful sort of cornflower blue, I would call it Sunbeam Alpine. That's lovely, isn't it? One of those met a grisly end in Get Carter, but this one seems to have survived far better. It's really nice and still got the original AA badge on the front. Let's hope they won't be needing the help of the AA on the way home, folks. And a beautiful Old English white or cream, depending what you think. What's your take on that one, Morgan? This 1971 Morris Traveller is a relatively late one. In fact, the last car's actually left the line in 1971, so it's probably one of those. Never a show goes by without you would see one of these, and we're grateful for it. Looks lovely, doesn't it? And an Old English white 3.2 Mark II Jaguar. Looks like it's probably what, a 67 on an E-plate, maybe 68, I'm not sure. Now this is a 3.3 litre Vauxhall Ventura. It looks like it's a 73, maybe a 74 car, so a relatively late one. And this is a H-plated, so I guess a 70, 69 or 70 Mach 1 Mustang. And the window's open on this one, so we might get the chance to have a quick look inside. In fact, we do. Lovely, isn't it? Sorry about the background noise. That's a very early AEC Mammoth chugging away in the background. Now this is a Renault 4, but it looks like it's an original right-hand drive Renault 4. I did speak earlier to the owner. He's not around at the moment, but it's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? With that hockey stick gear lever protruding from the dashboard, this one's got a fantastic paint job. Now this was the last Renault 5. This I think was called Super Sank or Super 5, and was the last one to run before the Renault 5 was actually phased out and replaced by the Clio. This one's an L registration, so I'm guessing it would be something like early 90s, I think. A lovely yellow Triumph Stag, and next to it an equally nice but smaller G-registered Mini. A Citroen Light 15, or so-called traction Avant, traction in front, i.e. front wheel drive, from 1948. And next to it, I think this is a Rover P4, a Rover 95. This is lovely. What beautiful condition, and also the paint, that burgundy paint, looks really lovely. Let's move on a little bit further and we'll see a Wolseley Hornet, the mini-based Wolseley Hornet. This one looks to be from 66. And then we've got an Austin A35, because it's got the bigger rear window, I know that much now. Now this is interesting. It doesn't look like an original Mini pickup because it looks like it's got the back end or the back roof of a different Mini welded in there. We'll take a look around the back of that one. Let's have a look. I'm not sure what to make of that, guys, but if you know more information on that, let me know. I can't imagine that that's been turned out of the British Leyland factory. A lovely 66 Moggy Minor. Beautiful. Now next we've got one of a number of Zephyrs and Zodiacs, the Mark IVs, the owners clubs here, and these are fantastic cars. They're really big. These cars predated the Granada, and in fact the last vehicle of this size in this class that went before the Granada replaced it in the early 70s. What's even more unusual is this incredible camper. Have you ever seen a Zodiac camper before? I've never seen one, and it's actually with a top produced by Ginetta. Now Ginetta are the maker of niche sports cars and have been for a number of years in different iterations, but I've never seen a camper van by them, and I've certainly never seen one on a Zodiac as a platform. That's amazing. Now this 1977 Mark I Transit camper van was converted by a company called Nimrod Engineering, believed to be the only one they actually converted because they were more used to doing escorts at the time. Apologies, it's quite windy here today, so there might be a bit of wind noise on the recording, so bear with me. I'm competing with wind noise and noisy AECs in the background. This is another Ford Popular, and next to it, let's have a look at this. Now this is the X100 based on the XJS platform. This was designed by Jeff Lawson, and the X100 was actually Jaguar's first new sports car for, believe it or not, 21 years. So 21 years post XJS launch. These are amazing value. Now this one with the AC registration looks like it's a Coventry plate, so may in actual fact have been a factory car at some stage. Again, it's in absolutely beautiful condition, and I believe it's only got 2 owners, one of them being the current one. These are beautiful cars, aren't they? Now this, I believe, is the A35 again, just looking at the back window, I might stand corrected on that one. And another Rover P4, and it's a 95. This one's a two-tone one, it's a B, so I guess that would make it a 64. Now these XJs, this looks like it's a supercharged one. This looks absolutely lovely. I love the colour-coded front grille and the sports wheels. I'm not sure if it's a Sport or an XJR, we'll take a look in a second. And in actual fact it's a Sport, but nonetheless pretty for it. And a Rover P6, the lesser seen 2000 TC, twin carb I assume. Oh, this Morris 8 is a lovely looking car, isn't it? Let's see whether the attached this gives any clues as to how old it actually is. Let's have a quick look. And it's from December 1935. Hasn't it survived well? An MGB Roadster, an early one with wire wheels, but it's probably what, a 64 I guess. It's open so we can have a quick look inside. It looks really original and relatively unmodified in there, doesn't it? I do like that sort of cornflower light blue colour. It really suits these. It's really period colour. And we've got a Wolseley Mark II 6110. It's quite an elegant saloon, aren't they? And certainly the styling has got that sort of Farina look about them. Certainly if you look at those fins at the back. And a Morris Minor convertible. Lovely car. Now this is a Morris, I think it's a Morris 8 again. Yes, a Morris 8. And this one also looks to be a relatively early car. Wow, some of these pre-war or even just post-war, because it's a 48 cars, have survived really well, haven't they? And thankfully they have, so that other generations get to see what lovely cars they were. Now this P6 with modifications and a very Viking orientated paint job I've seen before at a recent car show. And we've got an early Austin Mini. A bit later we've got this Rover 75. Again, starting to become appreciated for what they were. Fantastic riding cars in the day and superb quality, at least on the pre-Project Drive cars. In the later days, really lovely. Now this is the Spot the Difference. It's the Austin Westminster version. It's their Farina, and you can see the similarities. My God, were these guys good at badge engineering. Now, as well as having a look at this from the back, I'm awfully tempted to have a look inside of this one, because I just haven't seen a Rolls Royce of this era close up, and really you'd need a driving lesson. So you've got non-synchro mesh gearbox, the gear change appears to be on the right hand side, the ability to alter the carburetor mixture on the steering wheel from weak to strong. Wow, I'm lost already. What a fantastic car. A 1923 Rolls-Royce 20, that's lovely. Oh, I'm drawn to this one next to it, which is a Vauxhall Viva. I think it's the HA, it's a 66, and the owner is in fact the third owner. Apparently there are only 6 left of this model, and it was totally original till last year when a few parts had to be replaced. Lots of history, and the present owner has had it for I think 15 years. It's absolutely lovely. So this is the interior, and you're not going to see too many like this. Beautiful condition, and even the door cards, absolutely lovely. There's no shortage of places to work around on these, is there really?
No. Plenty of space on that.
Now you might not see many of these. This is a 1926 Rolls-Royce Phantom 1, 7.7 litres, top speed of 85 miles an hour. I'm not sure I'd be brave enough for that, but unfortunately just 10 miles per gallon, which obviously makes your eyes water these days. But a lovely car, isn't it? Another lovely Rolls-Royce. And next to it, I think this looks like a kit car. It's badged as Henley, I'm not quite sure what it is. And a VW, I think this must be a T4 camper van. Now we'll have a look at that midget in a minute, and the cars behind will start going down the next row. But this is another Morris 8. There's quite a few here today. I think this is the third I've seen. And this is nice, isn't it? This is a 73, 74 midget. I love that colour, and those contrast brown, contrast black rather, sills. Look really nice. Now I may well have seen this lovely Zodiac before, but if I have, then I make no apologies for showing it again, because it's absolutely beautiful. That two-tone doesn't have the sun visor like some of them had on the front, but it's in absolutely beautiful condition, isn't it? And look at the registration number, 6WKK. Outstanding. Now fittingly, with a Union Jack on the back, probably celebrating the Jubilee, is this 1973 Jensen Healey Roadster. These weren't produced in huge numbers, and certainly not as successful as the other Healeys of the 50s and 60s, but nevertheless lovely car still. And a lovely orange MGB Roadster, and a lovely Morgan, an X, so that's a relatively late one. And next to it, a pre-facelift and early, looks like a 64 Rover 2000. That's absolutely lovely. I do like that colour combination, I must admit, with this sort of burgundy exterior with the light interior. A very nice Mark 5 Cortina with those 3 stripes and the gear badging, top of the range, and with the factory metal sunroof. Looks lovely, doesn't it? Now, I'm pretty sure this tiny little thing is an Austin 7. Wow. Let's have a quick look inside. How do you fancy arriving in style in one of these? Actually, it'd be fantastic to have a go in one of these. Now, one of Roots Group's finest cars is this beautiful, beautiful Sunbeam Rapier. What I like about this is not just the paint on this one and those fins, those sort of mini American reminiscent fins, but the fact it's a pillarless coupe. Isn't that a beautiful interior? Look at that wood, those chrome gauges. I guess that's the horn ring in the centre. Oh, that's absolutely lovely. Another little Austin A35, and next to it, oh, this has piqued my interest somewhat, is this Zodiac convertible, complete with white wall tyres. You can see this transporting you back to the 1960s. It's absolutely lovely, isn't it? We'll try and get a look inside that one as well. Now, I'm not sure if these were Crayford conversions or not. Put that in the comments, feel free to let me know. But it's lovely. There's certainly plenty of accommodation in there. And next we've got a Triumph TR4, not the independent rear suspension version, the later ones, but actually a lovely foot. I do love that sort of T-bar type, or in fact there's no T-bar, but that sort of split type roof rather than the full convertible makes it semi-practical, I guess. And I do like that tartan red paint. I think it's probably the original paint colour, I suspect. Now, if you're into American cars, here's a lovely 1955 Buick Roadmaster. And maybe have a quick look inside that one if we can see it's open. I think it is. Let's have a look. Wow, isn't that nice? There's plenty of room on the front seat. Column gear change freeing up that space, and quite a bit of room in the back as well. Lovely. And here's a nice two-tone Dodge Dart. Certainly those fins are worthy of attention, aren't they? And of course it's a V8. What else did you expect? Lovely. Now, you don't see too many of these Lamborghini Diablos, do you? Scissor doors up. We'll try and take a look inside. And this is what it is like inside. The owner's very kindly left this one open. It's utterly lovely, isn't it? What a seating position there. A very nice Bentley. And a 1929 Humber 9 28 horsepower Tourer. Now this time it's the full Monty, it's the Mark II 3.8 litre Jaguar. Beautiful. Now these were hand built over in Surrey. It's the earlier Panther Callista superseded by the Lima. I think the Callistas came in fact with the Vauxhall 2.3 litre engine, whereas the replacement in actual fact used Ford engines, but the Callista is a lovely car. And a 72 Triumph TR6. Now, I really love Triumph Dolomite Sprints, but particularly in this Leyland Cars Racing logo. It looks like it might have had a competition life, just looking at the fact of how the front windscreen's retained and the shut-offs on the bonnet. It looks really, really lovely, doesn't it? Formidable in touring car racing and also used in some asphalt rallying applications. That's the one for me, I think. Now this is an MGC, not really appreciated at the time and a bit overshadowed by the later V8, but the MGCs with that higher bonnet line certainly are being appreciated much more now for the benefits of having that larger engine. Now the Morris Marina got a style late in life by Ital, and this is a Morris Ital, taking its name from that restyle, in an estate, which I've seen a few of the saloons. I've rarely seen an estate these days, Next to it we've got a Sierra. I had a G registered one of these. I had a 1.8 GL. It wasn't particularly the fastest thing on the road, but certainly again these have been appreciated as I think one of the last rear wheel drive Fords of this size, being replaced ultimately by the Mondeo. And next we've got the ADO 16 Advanced Drawing Office 16, and this is the Austin version. Lovely Morris Minor convertible. My own 1990 Mercedes 190E. Now, a sister car or brother car to one of those earlier ones is this lovely Zodiac. You can't appreciate how big these cars are. Well, I suppose you can, because at the side of it we've got a lovely minivan. These are worth incredible amounts of money now. Whether that's deserved or not, I don't know, but in actual fact it's certainly relatively rare these days, and it's got the port in the roof for ventilation. Apologies, that's the fire brigade in the background. And another Morris 8. We're certainly seeing quite a huge collection of different vehicles today at this show, and I'm really surprised for such a small show. Relatively, there's a good turnout of classic cars and others, and I'll try and film some of the others a little bit later, so stick with me for the Land Rovers and some of the other cars. And there we go, Morris M Series Saloon, or so it says. Let's try and take a close up on some of these Land Rovers. This beautiful fire and rescue one. A 90, Land Rover 90, looks like it's a W plater, so what would that be, around about year 2000. A very early Series 1 car. A lovely unpreserved but working Series 1, I think then a Series 2 here. You'll have to put that in the comments. I'm sure I've probably got these wrong on the Land Rovers. A good turnout. There's one of the lightweight military ones as well here. We can just see. So no shortage of Land Rovers to see today. It's fantastic to see the companies that support this, the R. Hazel or Hazel and Jeffries vehicles here, some of the vehicles we saw a bit earlier on in the video. That looks like a Ford. I think they use the Trader brand name, and some of those names from the past. I mean, look at this, British Road Services. When's the last time you saw that name in action? British Road Services, subsequently BRS, and then I think eventually became XL, and a name that's gone but not forgotten. Now the replacement to the D series, you can hear the sirens on the steam engines going in the background. Apologies about that. There's a Foden here. For bus lovers, we've got you covered with this AEC. I think somebody's stolen the fire engine that's in the background. And Austin A30, A35 van. Looks pretty small by the side of that bus, folks, doesn't it? Wow. A later Renault. A Dennis and a F-plated, what's that, 68? I remember these, the Morris. I remember these from an episode of Porridge. I'm sure they were used to transport the prisoners. And next along we've got a 1962 Unimog, and hopefully I'll be driving that very soon. So stay tuned to see me drive that one. Badly, possibly. An ERF. I think that might be a later Marathon. I think that's what they were called. Was it a Layla Marathon? Not sure. Bedford. Wow, there's so many vehicles here, I can't possibly. Isn't that a Harrington coach? It says it's, oh, it's Duple Vega. Not quite sure about that one, put that in the comments. I think it's certainly over 60 years old from what the owner was saying before. And some fantastic vehicles. There's the Bedford TK that we saw earlier. So apologies about background noise and the wind noise here today. And hopefully that's given you a good appreciation of some of the commercial vehicles at the show today as well. There is so much to see at this Stoke Row Steam Fair. It's really good. And this looks like for pre-war, immediately post-war. It's a Bedford, I know that much. Please feel free to comment, I'm not the expert in these. And fantastically, this has been co-driven by a Dalmatian. Hope he doesn't see anything he wants to chase after.
Looking at the old cars, it reminds me, I used to have the Renault Extra van, talking about the Renault 5, and this gentleman has a clothes peg in his car. Now, the younger generation wouldn't understand the necessity of having such a technological items being sort of loitering. The fuel burning enthusiasm as well. The exhibitors, the passengers in cars as well. We've got to remember there's the next generation of preservationists coming on slowly. So if there's any younger members of the audience, of exhibitors, they've really got to be encouraged for future preservation projects, because without the next generation we won't have what we've got today. Personally, I'm a great believer in the fact that yes, we might physically own the vehicles, but we're only custodians for our short sort of periods of time, and we're just looking after them for the next generation. There's many different clubs and societies out there, dependent on what you're interested in, to infuse younger people. So if you're interested in something in particular, go on to Dr. Google. Dr. Google's got the answers in different clubs that you can join and that you can partake in different activities. What always strikes me is the Mini. Yes, we all know the Mini is a small car, but now what's a small car that we would purchase today from one of the showrooms isn't really small until you go and get into a Mini.
Taxi for lot 76 cars, and here we go, right on time, an FX4 London taxi. Thanks for watching lot 76 cars, hope you've enjoyed the show. Some absolutely brilliant cars like this Triumph Dolomite behind. Please like, subscribe and share, and tune in for the next one. Look forward to seeing you. Bye bye.